Let's get right into it. Number 1, the doorway effect. You walk into a room, and poof, your brain just Alt plus F4D your entire mission. Why are you here again? Were you looking for your phone, your sanity, a snack? No clue. Just vibes. This phenomenon is so common that it has an actual name, the doorway effect. Yeah, science named your forgetfulness after a literal door. Here's the gist. When you walk through a doorway, your brain treats it like a scene change, kind of like a mental clapboard in a movie. Cut, new setting, new context. Your short-term memory, it gets partially wiped like a dry erase board being reused too soon. It's your brain's not-so-great way of staying efficient. Evolutionarily speaking, this made sense. If you're a prehistoric human and you move from a forest into a cave, your brain goes, "Forget the squirrel you were chasing, now worry about the saber-toothed tiger in here." Except in modern times, you're not fighting for your life, you're just trying to remember why you walked into the kitchen. So, yes, your brain is designed to abandon thoughts the moment you cross into a new space. Helpful in the Stone Age. Horribly inconvenient when you're holding a spatula and trying to remember if you were going to cook or clean it. Basically, your brain is a badly coded open-world video game. Every new room loads a new level and forgets to save your progress. Number 2, your brain has tabs and too many are open. If your brain were a web browser, you'd be running 47 tabs, 2 of them playing music, and 1 streaming a documentary you don't even remember clicking. This is working memory overload, and it's a huge reason you forget what you were doing. Your brain's RAM, that is, the part responsible for juggling thoughts in real time, isn't infinite. In fact, it's laughably limited. On average, your brain can hold 4 to 7 things at once. That's it. 4, not 4 tasks, mind you, 4 pieces of information, like coffee is hot, don't drop phone, deadline at 2 p.m., and why is the cat staring at me? So when you add something new, something old gets evicted. That's why you can be halfway through cleaning the sink, get a text, then immediately forget you even own a sink. Multitasking, not a skill. It's a slow, spiraling memory wipe. It's like juggling flaming swords while blindfolded. And surprise, the swords are also emails. So no, you're not broken. You're just mentally maxed out and your brain is quietly rage-quitting background tasks like a stressed-out intern. Number 3, your brain auto-archives boring stuff. You know those moments where you're brushing your teeth, scrolling your phone, or driving a familiar route, and then suddenly you're like, wait, did I already do that thing I was supposed to do? Yeah, that's because your brain is running on autopilot. And when things get repetitive, your brain treats them like spam emails. Read, marked as unimportant, auto-archived. This is called task habituation, and it's both a blessing and a curse. Basically, when your brain deems a task non-essential for survival or novelty, it stops paying active attention. You still do the thing, you're just not consciously storing the memory. Think of it like a security camera on loop. You're recording, but unless something exciting happens, like a squirrel doing a backflip or your toothpaste exploding, the footage just auto-deletes. That's why you forget whether you locked the door, fed the cat, or shampooed your hair. You probably did. Your body's just a pro at muscle memory. But your mind, it checked out the moment things got predictable. So yeah, if your brain forgets stuff while you're doing something mundane, it's not laziness, it's optimization. Cold, boring, optimized forgetfulness. Like a robot that's decided flossing isn't worth remembering. Number 4, context-dependent memory is a troll. Here's a cruel trick your brain loves to play. You can remember the thing, but only when you're not trying to. It's called context-dependent memory, which basically means your brain ties memories to specific environments, moods, even smells. That's why you walk into the kitchen, forget what you wanted, walk back to the couch, and boom, your brain's like, oh, right, peanut butter. This memory trickery makes sense if you're, say, an animal that forages for food and needs to remember where things happen. Your brain links memories to their original state. Change your state, and your brain goes, "Sorry, access denied." And it's not just locations. Your thoughts are linked to everything from lighting to posture to temperature. If you were standing when you had the idea, and you're now sitting, your brain might just straight up ghost you. Want to remember that random thought you had in the shower? Go back into the shower, fully clothed if needed. Your brain loves drama. So yeah, your memory isn't gone, it's just playing hide and seek, and it's cheating. Number 5. Micro-distractions are silent memory assassins. You pick up your phone to check the time. Suddenly, it's 14 minutes later, and you've somehow read 3 Wikipedia pages, watched a TikTok about raccoons stealing marshmallows, and completely forgotten why you opened your phone in the first place. That, my friend, is the deadly work of a micro-distraction. These are tiny interruptions, a sound, a ping, a thought that seem harmless but are actually snipers targeting your short-term memory. Research shows it takes about 23 minutes to fully refocus after a distraction, even if the distraction only lasts 5 seconds. Why? Because your brain doesn't just pause, it reboots. And while it's rebooting, your original task slips away like a dream after waking up. It's like trying to hold a balloon while someone keeps poking it with a pin. Eventually, it just pops, and now you're wondering if you ever even had a balloon to begin with. Worse, most micro-distractions feel productive. You're not doom-scrolling cat memes, you're checking an email really quick or replying to one Slack message. Except every quick detour is like stepping off a trail and into a cognitive corn maze. So the next time you forget what you were doing after opening Instagram for 1 second, just know it wasn't your willpower. It was your brain quietly hemorrhaging context like a leaky faucet. Number 6. Stress literally shrinks your brain's memory center. Feeling forgetful lately, stressed, anxious, constantly fighting off the urge to scream into a pillow. Cool, that's probably your hippocampus shrinking. No joke, chronic stress pumps your body full of cortisol, and cortisol basically turns your hippocampus, the part of your brain that forms new memories, into a soggy sponge. Over time, it physically shrinks, like an old raisin that used to be a juicy grape of memory-making power. This isn't just, I'm overwhelmed. This is structural change. High stress equals low memory bandwidth. It's like trying to download a movie with 4 bars of Wi-Fi. And here's the cruel twist. The more you forget things, the more stressed you get, which causes more forgetting. It's the brain's version of a toxic relationship, except you're stuck in it, and you can't ghost your own prefrontal cortex. So no, you're not bad at remembering. You're just mentally in a blender, trying to focus while your brain is being slow-roasted in anxiety soup. Number 7. Sleep debt is memory bankruptcy. If you've ever pulled an all-nighter and then forgotten your own birthday the next day, congrats, you've experienced sleep-deprived amnesia. Sleep isn't just rest. It's when your brain does all the behind-the-scenes file saving. Think of it like clicking save as for everything that happened today. Without enough sleep, your brain just doesn't hit save. It closes the tab, bye-bye memory. More specifically, during deep sleep and REM cycles, your brain replays events, solidifies connections, and stores things into long-term memory. Skip that process, and those experiences are like Snapchats gone in 24 hours, tops. Sleep deprivation doesn't just make you tired, it makes your hippocampus go on strike. That's the same hippocampus we just roasted earlier for being shrink-prone under stress. Now imagine it's sleep-deprived and caffeinated. Not great. And the worst part? You can't catch up on sleep like it's a Netflix show. Lost sleep is lost. Memory lapses caused by sleep debt don't just magically fix themselves. Your brain misses that data forever. Like a dropped call from your past self. So next time you wonder why you walked into a room and forgot your purpose, check if you slept like a goblin the night before. Number 8. Your brain just hates holding info. Here's a spicy psychological truth. Your brain was never designed to store information. Not like a hard drive, not even like a sticky note. Human memory. It's more like suggestive improv. Every time you try to recall something, your brain doesn't pull a file, it reconstructs it. And every time it does, the memory gets fuzzier. Less like a video, more like a watercolor painting left in the rain. So when you forget what you were doing 5 minutes ago, it's not failure, it's design. Your brain would rather outsource memory to the environment. That's why we invented sticky notes, grocery lists, phone reminders, and yelling. Remind me to call mom at Alexa like she's your therapist. You're not bad at remembering. You're good at being human. A human whose brain prefers vibes over storage. Basically, your mind is like that one roommate who refuses to write anything down because they'll remember. Spoiler, they won't. Number 9. Your brain tags some info as useless instantly. Here's a brutal fact. Sometimes, the moment you think of something, your brain just tosses it into the meh, irrelevant bin before you even notice. This is called memory consolidation bias, and it's the brain's version of Marie Kondoing your thoughts. Does this spark survival? No. Yeet. See, your brain has a limited amount of processing power. So it makes fast decisions about what's worth remembering, and it doesn't always make the right call. That random idea you had in the shower about how to fix your whole life. Your brain might have labeled that as temporary nonsense before you even stepped out to write it down. This isn't forgetfulness. This is premature deletion, like a librarian throwing away books before even reading the titles. It's all about perceived importance. If your brain doesn't feel a moment matters, emotionally, contextually, or repetitively, it files it under short-term garbage. And unless you rehearse or repeat it, it's gone like your will to answer unknown numbers. So yes, it's infuriating, but also kind of efficient. Your brain's like a bouncer at a very exclusive memory nightclub, and most of your thoughts, not on the list. Number 10. You're bad at time, and that breaks memory. Quick question, what did you have for lunch 3 days ago? No idea? That's fine. What if I told you it was yesterday? Still no clue. Perfect, now you understand temporal confusion. Humans are notoriously terrible at tracking when things happened. Our brains just aren't wired for accurate timestamps. We store memories like a chaotic photo album with no dates, all out of order, and half of them blurry. This makes it really easy to misplace a task in time. You thought you already did the thing, but you didn't. Or you did it 3 times, but you only remember one. This mental timeslip also explains why we overbook ourselves, forget birthdays, or spend an hour wondering, did I already send that email, or just think about it really hard? Basically, your sense of time is a sketchy narrator. And your memory? It's trusting that narrator blindly while it draws maps with crayons. So when you forget something you were just doing, it's not because your memory failed. It's because your internal clock is running Windows 95. Number 11. You're thinking about thinking too much. Ever forget what you were doing because you suddenly became hyper-aware that you were doing it? Yeah, that's meta-awareness. And it's kind of like trying to drive a car while staring directly at the steering wheel. You're so focused on the fact that you're thinking that you accidentally interrupt the process itself. This happens a lot during multitasking, anxiety, or moments of self-doubt. Your brain gets caught in a loop of over-monitoring. Wait, am I doing this right? Why did I come into this room? Was I just thinking something? And in that moment, snap, the original thought vanishes like your motivation on a Monday. Think of it like mental stage fright. The second you shine a spotlight on your thought process, your thoughts get nervous and run away. It's like your brain's version of a magician. The trick was working fine until you asked how it worked, and suddenly the whole illusion collapses. So ironically, overthinking about thinking can literally delete your thoughts in real time, which is either poetic or rude. Number 12. Your brain doesn't care about now. Here's a weird one. Your brain is always living in the past. Every bit of sensory input, everything you see, hear, and feel, is delayed by a few milliseconds while your brain processes it. Which means, technically, you're always reacting to a version of reality that's already happened. Combine that with slow decision-making, laggy memory storage, and emotional processing, and you've got a brain that's constantly playing catch-up. This neural delay isn't noticeable for most tasks, but it matters when you're juggling a thought, a goal, and an action all at once. Because by the time your brain reacts, that thought might have already decayed. Your attention is a bit like a browser tab with a slow internet connection. You click it, wait, and just as it starts to load, bam, you've already moved on. So when you forget what you were doing mid-task, it's not just distraction, it's neurological lag. The brain is buffering, and sometimes the page just doesn't load. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.